Welcome to today's morning power up call. Just want to double, triple check this is working correctly. Let's see. All right, it is live. Let's see if the audio works. Audio works. All right, we're good to go. Welcome to today's morning power up call. It's number 55, right? Now, I'm not going to talk about housekeeping. I'm not going to talk about anything else. I'm just going to dive in and talk about this tipping point when it comes to copywriting and how to get there as quickly as possible. Now, if I was to ask you guys, in fact, I will. What do you guys think is the first major milestone, the real tipping point where in your copywriting career where you go from struggling and it being extremely difficult to catching your momentum and catching stride? Like, where does that occur for you? Like, where do you imagine that occurs? Has it occurred for you yet? If it has, what was it? And if it hasn't occurred for you yet, what do you imagine that that tipping point to be? Just take some time, throw it in the chat. I'm gonna sit here, wait, and see what you guys have to say, because there is a key tipping point. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer, but there's a very important tipping point that I'm going to talk about. But I'm curious what you guys imagine it to be before I answer. So what do you imagine that first tipping point to be for you as a copywriter? Your first 4-digit retainer. Okay, keep going. What else? What else do we have? That is a fun moment, though. Not gonna lie. What other ideas do we have? Do we have any other ideas for what the first tipping point might be? First 3-digit sale. Okay. That first 3-digit sale is a good moment for sure. Okay. I'm going to check on this. Okay. First online sale. Okay. So that first moment you start collecting money, that is indeed an important tipping point, right? That's a line that once you cross, your life's never the same. Once you've done the process, you've developed a skill, and you've reached out, found a business, worked with them, and closed them on a deal, yes, that will forever change your life, right? Because from then on out, you know that you can reach out into the world and find a way to provide value and take money in for yourself. And then, like, your life just changed from that point on. Like, and then from then on out, you won't be able to work a normal job the same. You won't be able to go live a normal average life, because you'll know that there's a way that you can just take what you want from the world in a way where you're providing an extreme amount of value. That is an important point. It's not the tipping point I'm going to talk about, though, today, because closing a deal is okay. It's easy to, it's not terribly complicated to land that first client. There's some hard work, some difficulty, and you have to test out a lot of things, and there's going to be some time spent prospecting. But there's a more important tipping point that I want you guys to focus on. And that's when you get your first big win for a client, right? When you knock it out of the park for somebody, when you provide actual desirable results. It's easy to land a client. It's harder to fulfill for a client, right? And when you land a client and then turn around and create amazing results for their business, increase their sales, revitalize an old list, where you create an outcome that is desirable and you can point to it, that's the real tipping point, because that's what allows you then to take that first sale. Because it's easy to get money at the very beginning for a small sale. You can get a 3-digit, 3, 4 digits like sale. That's easy, right? Anyone can do it. But it's the back end that you make all the money, where you take that client and you leverage them up and you do bigger and better projects. You get on a revenue share, you get on retainers, that kind of stuff. That's where the real money is made. And that only happens with a particular client once you've gotten amazing results for them, right? That's the real tipping point. You make a big promise and then you deliver on that promise. And once you can actually deliver on that promise, then you have enough leverage in that relationship to where you can upgrade your projects and upgrade the revenue that you bring in. That's the first tipping point with an individual client. Now, there's a cool secondary benefit to getting a crazy big win for a client, and that is when you have results that you've created for somebody, you can then turn around and do your entire outreach and sales process around helping other people get those same results. And you can point to work that you've done and results that you've gotten, and that allows you to stand out from the crowd of everyone else who's never gotten results, because most copywriters aren't that good, right? Most copywriters in the world outside of this program, they're not that good, and they don't really produce results. They can fulfill tasks, they can get emails sent out, but they can't actually generate results. They can write pages, but they can't close sales. Once you can do that and you can point to it, then when you are reaching out to and working with clients, with potential clients, they are more desirable. They are more interested in working with you because they know that you can actually produce results. Results are king in this business, right? It also gives you a lot of ammunition to use on the actual outreach itself. Like you can build an entire offer or like a discovery project type outreach around the helping other people get the same results that you got for your client in this other space, but in a different space. There's so many options that come from that. Your ability to close goes up, your confidence in yourself goes up. Getting that first win for your customer is honestly the real tipping point. So that is what I would focus on if I was you guys. That's the target I would set. No matter where you are, if you're in the boot camp right now, you should be learning the stuff so that you, with the purpose of I'm learning these skills, I'm learning these abilities so that when I get that first client, I can produce amazing results for them, right? Now, again, you don't have to spend your entire life just getting really good so that one day you can reach out to people. No, you should go through the program, start reaching out to people, but be continually enhancing your skills so that when you do land that first client, you can deliver on the promises and produce amazing results for them. So if you're in the boot camp, that's what you should focus on. If you're in a Legion, you should be focused on not only landing that first client, but then the real work begins once they've paid you. You need to fulfill that promise. Once you fulfill that promise, you will earn their respect. You can actually upgrade them as a client. It's key. This is really at the heart of what it means to work with clients. Again, it's a relationship. They invest time and energy, you give them a result. They invest time and energy, you give them a result. You send them an email, they invest time and energy and read it, and they reply, and you give them a result. You're successfully, everything is a value exchange, everything's a trade. This is the big important one though. Once they pay you for a project, that is when you come in and not only deliver the promise, the results that you promised, but you over deliver and you give them even more value than they anticipated. Once you successfully complete that trade, your entire life as a copywriter changes because that client will stick with you for life. They'll be loyal to you. They'll be excited to pay you whatever you ask for giant projects in the future. And you'll be able to take that successful example of work that you've done and leverage it into as many other clients as you possibly could want. That is the tipping point. Landing your first client, that's cool. Fulfilling for your first client and knocking it out of the park for your first client, that's the real tipping point. That's where everything shifts. It's difficult up until that point. You have to prove yourself up until that point. But once you can prove yourself, once you've made your bones in the industry, you're good to go. You can. It's not that you cruise, but a lot of the obstacles that you face in that early stage just melt away because you have the power of proof. You have the power of past success. So if you haven't reached that tipping point yet, you need to focus on getting there. If you've reached that tipping point and you haven't been utilizing it as the main touchstone for your outreach or the main foundation for your outreach and your relationship with your clients, you need to reevaluate how you can better utilize that past win to set yourself up for success with the rest of your clients that you're facing, to make your outreach better and to upgrade your clients and make more money with them. So someone asked really quick, hey, this is cool. I like doing this more direct or this more interactive way. So someone asked, how would you leverage this, for example, in an outreach email? There's lots of ways you can do it. Here's one way. Now this is a rough flow of an email. Do not do this exactly like this. You need to find ways to be different and to approach it from a slightly different angle. But here's roughly what you could do. You can say, hey, Steve, so-and-so. Insert compliment. I know you guys think compliments are dead. Good compliments are never dead. Yes, insert a good, interesting compliment that helps them understand that you're a real person, that you get it. And then you can say, I was just wrapping up a project with another client where I helped them, let's say, activate 4,200 old subscribers on their list and close $20,000 and $31 worth of new business in about 3 days of stuff. If you're interested in seeing how I do it and to explore if this is possibly something you could do with your list, like reply back roughly. Again, that's rough off the cuff. You need to improve like every single thing of what I just said. But that's one way that you can leverage a past result, right? Because you're holding up a dream outcome, a thing that they would like to have. You're also showing that it's safe, that the risk is very low because you've done it before. And the effort and sacrifice is significantly less, right? And then you're coming across as an expert and someone who's actually created results instead of just a hey, I've got an idea for how you can increase your sales. Like, no, I've done this. I know it's going to increase your sales. Let's see if it even works in your business. That is one of the easiest ways you can leverage this when you do outreach. And it's going to be unique to you because it's going to be unique to your situation, the win that you created. You as a copywriter can understand how approaching from that level of proof, that level of past success, that level of certainty will increase your opt-in rate, or the people that open and accept your email. It's going to be at an extremely, it's a significantly improved form of outreach compared to, hey, I'm brand new. I have an idea, right? And you can do that enough and you'll get your first chance with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you've made that win, once you've had that tipping point, once you've created a massive success for one of your clients, then you can leverage it. And it's like you've notched up to a higher level and it's significantly easier. You can cruise. Your prospecting time now shrinks because instead of having to reach out to 40 prospects a day, you can reach out to 10 a day, and then you'll be telling people no because you don't have enough time on your calendar, right? Your life shifts once you hit this tipping point. So you have to invest a lot of time and energy to make it through this and make it over that speed bump. But once you make it over that speed bump, it's smooth sailing from there. So, guys, we're going to okay, I'm going to take a look. We got a few more questions in here, and I'm going to answer them. And we're going to call it a wrap. So, did you try to get referrals from your clients you got results for? Yes. Do we suggest a loom of what we've done to provide value and establish trust? You can. There's lots of ways to do it with the email. What if you get a client and you don't fulfill for them, even though your emails were pretty good? So if you get a client and you don't fulfill for them, there's almost always some level of personal responsibility. So let's say you get a client and you're doing email marketing for them, right? And you write really good emails, but their sales page sucks, right? And their sales page doesn't convert. So you send lots of traffic over there, but they don't buy, right? For some odd reason, because the page is terrible, has pictures of ducks on it instead of actual copy, just as a terrible, weird example. You still can identify the wins that you got for them, right? With that client, obviously you can say, hey, look, like we increased your open rates by 15%, your click-through rates went up 10%. Like this definitely works. As like the email campaign was a success. The stuff I obsessed over night and day for 4 or 5 days as I created this and dialed it into your avatar, that crushed. But this page didn't create sales, right? You can still take the wins that you create with that email campaign, increase the open rates, increase click-through rates, all that sort of stuff, and you can hold that up as a win and start leveraging that outside of that particular business when you're finding outreach. That's one way to do it. But you can also then you can show them, hey, look, what I did worked. There's a weak point here, which is the sales page. Let's do another project where I help improve it, right? You can always leverage your past success into a future success. Even if the overall project didn't work because of factors that are outside of your control, you can leverage that success to gain you control over those other factors and increase your revenue and increase the success for the client. So that's how I would approach that. All right. This has been a good call. This is a good principle. I want you guys to apply it. I hope you guys start talking about this inside of your legions, right? If you're inside of a legion, go talk with the guys inside of the legion about this principle. Go try and identify people who've had a tipping point, help them start leveraging it better, and start identifying ways that you can create that tipping point for yourself. This is what I would hold up as my goal if I was a young copywriter first starting out, is that first big win for a client. In fact, we might start changing the way we do wins, or we might make an entire new category of wins for people to share amazing success stories they've created for their client, because I think that's something I want you guys to start focusing on more. So this has been a good call. Take this principle, use it, apply it, use it to define what you should be doing right now and inform your path forward, and then use it as a major tool once you've accomplished it in your life. And you're going to see your revenue increase dramatically with your clients. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.